started in Spain.
Okay.
In English. So basically the stand-up story, I technically, on paper, did my first show February 2020 in Madrid. And because a friend of mine there, Jake, is a stand-up comedian, so I would go to his shows like every week, whenever he had a show, I would just go because he could get me in. He was my friend and all that. And then I was always just like, oh, I'll start stand-up, I'll do stand-up. And he was just like, just shut up and do it, or shut up.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. So he got me on a show, and I did it, and it went well, which was ideal. And then I was booked on another show, which was March 14th, 2020, which was when Spain closed for the good old pandemic. So it was canceled. So I didn't get on another stage until October 2021. So then I only say that I've been doing it from like October,
right?
Because I did one and then nothing for almost 2 years.
But you were still around. I mean, I imagine you still have a fairly good idea of like what doing comedy is like in Spain because you're around your friends so much.
100%.
What is the deal over there?
It's fun. It's really cool. It's cool because like in Madrid there's a pretty good scene, but in Barcelona there's a really great scene for comedy.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like it's weird because you're doing comedy in English. They have comedy in Spanish, comedy in like Catalan, comedy in French, comedy in whatever language you want. I don't speak those. And I was like, I do speak Spanish because like I've been there for 3 years. My whole master's was in Spanish. Like but like Spanish humor is different from American humor. And like some people translate their jokes and sometimes they work, but I wanted to get the English part down first before I started doing it in a different language.
Yeah, fair.
So you're doing it in front of people who it's a range of like native English speakers and non-native English speakers. And it could be like their first, their second, their third language, You never know, because Barcelona being such a touristy town, you get a lot of people there. You get a lot of a lot of companies are headquartered there. So there's a lot of people from all over the place there. And so when you're writing jokes and when you're telling jokes, you have to be aware of that. So you have to like kind of slow down the cadence. You have to slow down your pacing, kind of over-explain at times so that the premise gets there. Because like the quick American, like a quick New York style joke might not.
I'm telling you, this fruit fly is a menace.
You didn't catch it. Yeah. You had one job. Like the quick New York kind of jokes might not always hit because you're talking too fast, So you have to kind of, and there's also jokes that like I have jokes there that don't work here, and I have jokes here that don't work there, just because of like the subject matter. Like I had a joke about the Sagrada Familia, which is the huge Gaudi church that's been under construction for 120 years, and I kind of changed it a little bit when I first started doing it back in the States, just to kind of see if it would work here, and it just didn't. I don't know. I tried to change it about the Bills, and it didn't work. It just like the premise only worked with the church,
right?
And it's stuff like that. And like you would, if you do like a joke that's very American, like about American stuff, they don't get it unless there's Americans there. Like I talked about Aaron Carter once, and like 2 people were like, "Oh yeah," and the rest of the room was like, "Who the fuck is that?"
That's pretty good for an Aaron Carter joke. I imagine that's not too bad.
It's rough. It's not a good joke.